Do they have the knife? The long-awaited trial looms for the state of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger, the very man charged with the slaying of the 4 University of Idaho students in the dark of night. The May 15th pretrial hearing occurred, and the discussion of the knife came up during how to handle and where to keep the evidence. Have they found the knife that was used to take the very lives of Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee? This is Crime Time Buzz. This is for entertainment and educational purposes. Today we are using audio from a pretrial hearing out of Ada County and the state's request to seal their amended exhibit list on May 14th. The pretrial hearing was May 15th. It sounds like they have the knife, the M weapon. These are actual court hearing and documents out there in the public, and I may use my alleged opinion, speculation, and personal theories that are not to be taken as fact. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get to the state of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger. Do they have the knife? In preparation for the August 11th, 2025 trial, unless it's delayed, we are waiting to hear. To begin with open statements on August 11, a pretrial hearing was conducted on May 15th. That's conducted to ensure all the many particulars that go into a trial and the specifics are in order. It extends to witness lists, jury selection, rules and regulations, procedures, exhibits, and much more. I believe and I wonder, have they found the knife? What do you think? Please leave me a comment after this. Please listen to Judge Hippler from Ada County in Boise discussing the displaying of exhibits during this May 15th pretrial hearing. Also, please observe Bryan Kohberger as the knife comes into discussion.
Physical object exhibits, work with the marshals on getting them in the courthouse. So for example, if it's something that's going to raise alarms at the security line, such as, I don't know, a knife, make sure you've got the aid of security in advance to get through that. The TCA can direct you to the marshal service and who to talk to there. We tend to use for dangerous items like guns and knives, a display box that the item would then be locked in to display to the jury. And so that can go to the jury without fear of an accident happening. I don't think there are any guns in this case, so I'm not as worried about that in terms of those being pointed at anyone by accident. But in terms of the knife, will probably be in a display case.
The knife will be in a display case. Have they found the knife? Look at this document that I found. So this pretrial hearing was on May 15th, and Judge Hippler is referring to the evidence and keeping the knife in a case. Let's keep going for a second.
If you're going to be using illustrative exhibits, give counsel notice of that as reasonably far in advance as possible for them to have a chance to look at those.
And I wanted you to hear that because the document I am about to show you is excluding their amended exhibit list, and that is dated May 14th. So this pretrial hearing is May 15th, and the judge is bringing up the knife. Did you see Kohberger adjusting in his seat when he was talking about keeping in a case? Well, this is May 15th. They're discussing this. Well, my document shows that on May 14th, the state of Idaho asked to have their amended exhibit list sealed. Look at this. This document that you are looking at was submitted by the state of Idaho, the prosecution, in the district court of the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho, in and for the county of Ada. Now, Bryan is charged with the slaying of the 4 Moscow, Idaho students at the University of Idaho in Moscow, but they had the trial moved to Boise in order, they were worried about getting fair juries seated. So it was moved to Ada County in Boise, and Judge Hippler, phenomenal judge, is in the courtroom and will be for this trial, which, by the way, will be live streamed. We will be watching it here. Hit the subscribe, notification bell, watch it with me. There's been so much with the gag order. A lot's going to come out to explain to us, reveal before our eyes what happened on November 13th, 2022, between 4 a.m. and 4:20 a.m. at 1122 King Road in Moscow. So this document says, State of Idaho versus Bryan Christopher Kohberger, the defendant. This is an order sealing the notice of amended exhibit list. I'm thinking this is about the knife. It was submitted May 14th, and here we have a pretrial hearing where they're discussing where to keep the knife, and they also discuss how to get it into the building. Okay. Based upon the state's notice of amended exhibit list in motion to seal filed herein, the court does hereby confirm and order that the state's notice of amended exhibit list is exempt from disclosure. That's why I played that last line for you where he was saying, I trust you guys to work it out with each other that you disclose. Well, this amended list does not have to be disclosed, and it is sealed pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32G L for the reasons stated in the said motion. Okay. So they have approved it. This is from Ada County, May 14th. So the state of Idaho does not have to disclose their amended exhibit list, and it is sealed. I find that interesting coming from what they thought was the last pretrial hearing. Now, one has been scheduled since for June 18th at 12:30 p.m. We will watch that together here. So hit that notification bell and I'll remind you as it gets closer. So for what they thought was their last pretrial hearing was their strategy to come in and ask their amended exhibit list to be sealed and not disclose whether or not they have located the M weapon. Bryan Kohberger was squirming in his seat a little bit, in my opinion. What do you think? Do they have the knife? Well, we're going to start covering the details of this trial that has been delayed many, many, many times. And quite frankly, it is scheduled to begin August 11th with opening statements and start seating the jury end of July. However, there was a leak. There were several pieces of information that were leaked on a Dateline episode. Judge Hippler is very upset, but the defense is now asked to have the trial delayed yet again. The judge has not ruled on that yet. I pray he doesn't. We are 3 years after the slaying. These families have gotten people to donate, GoFundMe, help them get to the trial, because remember, they had to go to Boise because that's where the defense wanted to try Bryan out of fairness. So we're going to be there. It is going to be, if it is there, we will be there August 11th for opening statements. We'll hear if it is delayed We will be right there. We'll be there for the June hearing. And guess what? Hit notification, because we're about to discuss on our next video the information that Dateline leaked. The information that made Judge Hippler very upset that got out there. And the information that has the defense wanting to delay the trial. Now, I wonder, this is my opinion, if the defense indeed is using that as a strategy to get the trial delayed because of this that has been presented, a sealed motion and mention of a knife. Do they need to prepare for that, but yet are saying they need to prepare for the damage that Dateline did? I mean, come on. He circled around the neighborhood, and I'm going to share all of it with you. But nothing would be as damning as them finding the M weapon. Do you think they have the M weapon, or could it be a replica that they're going to use in court? Do you think the delay is based on this? The defense needs to get busy to react to this? Or do you think it is indeed about the Dateline leaks? We are going to cover the Dateline leaks on our next video about the Idaho 4, Maddie, Xana, Ethan, and Kaylee, and the charges against Bryan Kohberger, the man who currently is accused with taking their lives. See you on the next one. Keep keeping on, and we will talk soon. Prayers up for everyone involved.